My name is Kennedy Ng, and I am very happy to present to you tonight the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, which will be an option for the community to know the good things that happen in this beautiful city.
The city of Union City, a cosmopolitan city where almost all of us have seen each other. We are like a large family that through the management of our representatives, they help our citizens. And our people do volunteer work because they know that the city is run by a mayor who has shown that he is not the common politician, but that he works for his community. This program is an extension of information where we are going to have participation of personalities from the public and private sectors so that they can keep us informed of the community. May that be educational activities and everything that benefits us.
Good evening, Union City, the Dream City. Tonight, we have a very special guest, a person that I know for many, many years, but I know her as Tata. But her real name is, I have to read it because I know you as Tata, and I like that name, Tata.
Okay, good.
And your name, the real name is
Ilida Barrera.
Ilida Barrera. See, I'm learning something new. So you're going to learn a lot about, let me call you Tata's.
Yes,
okay?
please.
Tata's Daycare. Can you give me a little bit of background about what you do?
I am a local businesswoman and a proud mom of two wonderful sons. I have been a child care provider for over 30 years. I opened my first child care center in 1991 and expanded my business, opening my second location in 1999 as a Union City Board of Education certified preschool provider for 3 and 4-year-old children. This is a free program for children that live in Union City.
Do you remember that my son went to
Yes,
your daycare?
he did, as a matter of fact.
You
Yes,
know
he
what?
did.
I'm going to tell you something. I visit a lot of daycares, and I was not like that happy. I'm not saying that they were bad, but when I found your place, it's like getting the lottery, you know?
Good,
I was
I'm
so
glad.
happy. My two kids, Kennedito Juniors and Kenjel, they went there. I mean, amazing.
And as a matter of fact, your son just graduated with a master's degree, right?
Exactly.
There you go.
It's your problem.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
When you were a child, did you attend to preschool classes? Because I wanted to know really, what was it that inspired you to choose this profession?
No, I did not attend preschool classes, but my inspiration are my parents. I am Cuban born. My parents always spoke to us about the importance of education. When I was 7 years old, I came to the United States. And once again, my parents instilled in us, my sister and I, the love for learning and all the opportunities education can bring us.
And I understand you are bilingual, yes?
Yes, I
English,
am.
Spanish.
Yes, I am. Un poquito.
When you, that's good. When you speak to the kids, some of them, they do not speak the language, yes?
No, they don't. They speak mainly Spanish, but all our staff.
And that's part of the training,
That's
yeah?
part of their training, yes, yes.
Tata, tell the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, and you know that this program is a YouTube program.
That's right.
You know, with the purpose of to inform and educate our community. Tell me a little bit about the programs that you offer.
We provide a full-day program for preschool children, 3s and 4s, with the emphasis on education. Our curriculum is aligned with the Union City schools and implemented by the New Jersey Department of Education. All teachers and staff are state certified.
Let me ask you, if a parent call your business, Tata's Daycare, and they don't know anything about it, and they don't speak the language, someone can answer the question
yes,
in Spanish?
Yes, we do. Our staff is completely
How
bilingual.
many staff we have there?
We have, in one site, we have 3 staff members, and in my preschool program for 3s and 4s and after schoolers, we have about maybe 12 in total.
Okay, are all of them bilingual?
Yes, they are.
And that's
Yes,
good
they
to
are.
know, because
Yes, it
the
is.
community, sometimes people that don't speak the language, they feel afraid to call and, and find out that nobody can answer.
Right, that nobody can. No, but we do. We are fully bilingual.
That's good to know. Tata, tell me something. Early childhood education, I know is very important, and you know it's very
Yes, it
important.
is.
What other programs do you provide?
In addition to a free full day 3 and 4-year-old program, we also provide an aftercare program for school aged children.
And when you
5
say
to 13.
aftercare, it's like after 4, after 5?
After 3 o'clock, after 2:45, when they let out of
How
school.
that work? Like,
We-
you know, just pretending that I have my kid in there, and the time to leave your business is just to say a time at 3:40. So from 3:40 m to what time they can be in your business?
In our program, they could be an aftercare program from 3 o'clock to 5:30, 6 o'clock. It depends on the parents when they come in.
And what happens if they don't pick up the kid on time? What is the routine?
We usually call the parents and let them know that, their child was left and if there's anyone else that could come and pick them up.
That's a good practice.
Yes, it is.
Tata, how many students have you served since you opened your school?
Our center has served, I think, over 2,000 students or even more up to date. And you know what the best part of it is? When they come in and say hello to us, to the staff, to myself, to our family workers. And it's wonderful to see them come back and say hello.
It's a family.
It's a family,
Like
absolutely.
the Dream City. Like
Absolutely,
the Dream City. That's
absolutely.
why we call it the Dream City.
Yes.
Union City, New Jersey.
Yes.
This is what I like about Union City, that it's really a family.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes the best part is I love to see the children or our students graduate from the Union City High School. It's a good feeling to see our babies, basically, because they were our
Okay.
babies when they came in, and pursue a career in, a path in education.
Have you had the experience you are in a store buying something in a supermarket and you see one of the kids that you...
Yes, they do. And they sometimes they look at you and they can't figure out why you at the store. They think that you only live in school.
Exactly.
That's right.
But
That's right.
that's a good... It is
It's a good feeling.
It's a
It
good
is. You're
feeling.
absolutely, yeah. It is a good feeling.
Tell me something. Why do you think early childhood education is important?
Early education is very important because it introduces children to structure, discipline through play, and those are the things that they need in order to have self-confidence and move on to kindergarten.
You know, one of these days, you know that I am a musician.
Yes,
okay?
you are.
Next year, I promise I'm going to pass by
Oh, good.
to your daycare. I'm going to play the piano, and we're going to do it like a music therapy session for the kids.
I would like that. I would definitely
Okay,
like
give me 5 for that, okay? Do you provide meals and snacks for the students while they are in school?
Yes, we do. We participate in the New Jersey Department of Agriculture, the Child and Food Program, and we give them a nutritious free meal, breakfast, lunch, and a snack.
What about for those Latinos, like Dominican, Cuban,
Yes,
rice and
yes,
beans,
yes,
black
we do.
beans, red
We-
beans?
Yes.
Do they feel like uncomfortable sometimes that eating what they stay require as a good nutrition?
Well, we actually combined the.
Don't tell me you cook.
No, I don't. I don't cook.
Are you a good cook?
Yes, I am. I'm a good cook. Yes,
So
I
the
am.
day that I visit your
Yeah, I'm going to
business,
cook for you. I'm definitely
Okay.
going to cook for you.
okay, I'm gonna be waiting for that.
Okay.
This is a question that I ask every guest that I have in my program, and I feel like, emotional sometimes and very sad. In what way your daycare was impacted by COVID-19?
I think we were all impacted one way or another. On March of 2020, when the Union City Board of Ed closed and went virtual, we as a child care provider also went virtual, and we had to deal with Zoom meetings, virtual learning geared to 3 and 4-year-olds.
In your case, I find it very, very difficult because
Right.
3 years old, maybe 2
Right.
years, 4, that they are not, capable to use the computer. The parents have to be involved.
Right, the parents do have to be involved, and they just, sign in or come into their tablets.
And sometimes the parents are not.
Right.
I mean, specialists in computer and things like that.
Right,
it
but
was
we
a terrible
do,
time.
Right, it was a terrible time. So we usually try to navigate that with the parents and see if they could come in maybe once or twice a week, or so their child could have more or less a normal.
And I know you did a good job, because
Yes, we did.
I have friends that have kids in your daycare,
great.
and they commented to me the way the business handled during these 3 years.
Yes,
And
it was very
nothing
difficult,
perfect,
challenging,
but they
yes.
were very happy.
Good, I'm glad.
And Tata, I know our mayor Brian P. Stack was like 100% involved during those years of
Yes.
COVID-19. How was the experience with that?
I have to say, Kennedy, it was through the leadership of Mayor Brian P. Stack. He was in constant communication with our residents and even small business like myself. He was excellent.
No complaints.
No complaints at all.
Okay. We know that this school year is ending. Can you talk a little bit about that?
This was a very positive school year. I mean, we're going back to more or less normal again. And remember, our children are 3s and 4s, and as of yet, they were not vaccinated. We follow the CDC guidelines. Remember, our students are 3s and 4s, and they were not eligible to receive the vaccine. Our main priority is to keep our staff, our children, and their families safe and happy. We have taken all the necessary precautions to make that happen. And I have to say, our students are happy and really excited to be back.
Anything else that you could add to this interview that we didn't cover?
Okay. I would like to remind parents that our summer registration is open, and our program includes infants and toddlers, preschools for 3s and 4s, and our summer camp for school-aged children.
And this information you always put in the newspaper, local
Yes, we
newspaper.
do. Yes, we
in
do.
Spanish and English.
Yes.
And I ask you if the information is in Spanish and English, because I know the community
Right.
is just a large community in Spanish.
It's Spanish community, yes, we
and
do.
sometimes they do not buy, American
Right.
newspaper. And
No, we do.
It's
We
good.
usually-
It is a good practice to use a local newspaper in Spanish.
I think you're right. I think it's absolutely true, and that's what we do. Before we go, I would just like to say that our registrations for 3s and 4s are now open for the September that's coming up. Stop by, get the application for my 3s and 4-year-old parents.
Very good.
Again, I want to thank Mayor Brian P. Stack for everything he has done to make Union City such a great place, not just for parents, but for students to thrive in.
Tata, let me call you Tata.
Yes,
You're my
please,
friend.
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time, and I know you are a businesswoman, very busy every day. I really appreciate it. Any additional information, the door of this program is open for you.
Thank you, Kennedy. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. You're a great host and an excellent musician. So
Thank you.
very much for having me in your program.
Thank you. This was Tata, as promised, a lot of information, educational information, and I hope next week you can watch the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey. My name is Kennedy Ng.